Kunimitsu. So I've been asked to do a redesign of the female Yoshimitsu of Tekken. Kinda challenging because Kunimitsu has a pretty established look and she's a pretty cool looking Tekken character at that. So not gonna be easy trying to find a different look from her than the traditional Tekken looks that she's had in the past. Also, I'm seriously trying to fight the urge to make her look as outrageous and as wacky as Yoshimitsu. Okay, so like I said earlier, I got a request to do a redesign for Kunimitsu for a Tekken 8 design. Being honest, I have my doubts that she'll actually come back to Tekken 8. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think it's going to happen. That being said, I love the return of Kunimitsu for Tekken 7. I love the introduction, or I guess reintroduction, depending on how you look at it, of Kunimitsu 2, being the daughter of the original that Yoshimitsu killed. And I love her redesign in Tekken 7. While her design in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, while there's a lot of alliteration in that statement, but that design isn't bad to me, it also is rather plain. It looks like Kunimitsu, but it also kind of looks like generic female ninja design to me. The Tekken 7 one looks kind of like old school Kunimitsu, but kind of updated to look rather different. It might just be me nitpicking, but I'm just more of a fan of the Tekken 7 one than the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 one. Even though, being honest, if you look at the two designs on paper, the Tag 2 design looks actually a lot more different from her traditional ones in the past, but whatever. So, being that I was asked to do a redesign here, I was trying to figure out how do I do a new looking design that you still sort of gather is Kunimitsu while at the same time not looking like her at all. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of wanted to lean a little bit into the female Yoshimitsu look. I wanted to make something a little outrageous for her. I still wanted to read Kunimitsu, I wanted to read Ninja, but I wanted to look kinda crazy for a design that she would have. So let's see if I pull that off at all. Alright, so starting off, for whatever reason, I really wanted to give her some type of a straw hat look and some kind of crazy demon mask. Kunimitsu's masks in the past have all kind of looked the same. I wanted something that was a complete contrast from that traditional design. I wanted her mask to read demon more than anything else, especially considering that she's vengeful and sort of after the Yoshimitsu sword, not the person, though she kind of has to kill him to get the sword back, or at least steal it from him. Because it's kind of a vengeful character, I wanted her to look more demon-esque than the normal ninja Kunimitsu design. Over time, Yoshimitsu sort of went from ninja to whatever the hell he is now in the Tekken games, so I wanted to do the same thing for a Kunimitsu design. But trying to think more when I do these redesigns about actual character and story too, I also wanted like questions to be asked when looking at her design as well. One of those questions being like, what has she been doing, or what exactly has she been up to? That's why I put random like bandages and whatnot on her clothes. And towards the end, after the fact, I put like just damage marks and like little scars on her clothes as well, just to make it seem like she's been going through a lot of battles trying to get this sword. Like, just given the character, I wanted a meaner looking Kunimitsu design, if anything else. So she has a lot more shields on her clothes. Like I said, I have bandages with like blood stains on it. I didn't want to give her a traditional ponytail, so I have her with sort of like just wild hair underneath the little straw hat look that I gave her. Don't know why I like the idea of Kunimitsu instead of the dueling swords, just one having the kunai and the other one being the sword itself. I don't know why I like that look, so I just did it in the design itself. That's just me, but I ran with that basic outline for her design in the beginning. So then, after settling in on that and getting her line art sketched out, I went back and sort of had to think through what her actual color scheme was going to be. Originally, I went with a sort of blue color scheme for her, but then thought we've seen that a lot. Once again, I want like a demon look for this woman. So I went with like a darker red for whatever reason, and just would have sort of like red and almost brownish and gold design going forward. And it stands out from the current look of Yoshimitsu as well, just the red contrast from how blue he is. I'm also trying to think of how the contrast of him in Tekken 8 and how she would look up against it. Then just little like details on like the horns of the helmet and sort of like the sword and her gloves and stuff like that, just little fine touches to add to the design going forward. I initially had her hair oranges. By the time we get to the finished product, it's not going to be orange because I went back and changed that. it's sort of a reddish look. I don't know why I had these weird desires to add like white accents to her clothes. I know it's like the bandages and stuff like that, but I also did it with the hair at the very end. Like I said, I'm not really sure why. It was just a weird design choice that I wanted to make. But yeah, just adding the shadows in, also making sure there was a lot of shine, just shine to certain parts of like the shield and like her knee pads and stuff that I added on her clothes, and especially the sort of hat design that I gave her up top. Wanted to give that a lot of sheen and shine to it, so I did that going forward. Also, if you notice any hiccups with the actual coloring in this picture, that's because for whatever reason my tablet just kept shutting down on me. I had to do an update in the middle of painting this, of course, so that happened. Luckily, it didn't cause me too much grief with the painting. I was still able to finish the highlight portions of this anyways and do the specs at the very end, and I got this finished Kunimitsu. Like I said, very different from the traditional Kunimitsu looks that we've seen in the past. I'm curious to know what you guys think and whether this would be like an awesome departure from her like typical looks in Tekken. If she was to come back in Tekken 8 at all, once again, I have my doubts. But whether or not you would like this, or do you think a more traditional Kunimitsu look would actually be best for this character? So I'd appreciate your feedback. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And you all have a good one. And I'm out.